Here's an intro in line with the style of your examples. Remember the simple, comforting meals that filled 1950s kitchens with warmth and flavor. These were the dishes that made families gather around the table, often made with just a few ingredients and a lot of care. From quick weeknight dinners to holiday favorites, every recipe had a story and a taste that lingered long after the last bite. Today, we're revisiting 30 classic meals that prove sometimes simple food really was better. Classic 1950s meatloaf. In the 1950s, meatloaf wasn't just a meal. It was a symbol of home, comfort, and practicality. Post-war America valued efficiency in the kitchen, and homemakers needed meals that could feed a family without requiring hours of preparation or advanced skills. Classic 1950s meatloaf met that need perfectly. Made with a simple mix of ground beef, breadcrumbs, eggs, and basic seasonings, it was both hearty and economical, and the recipe could be easily adapted depending on what ingredients were available, making it a staple on dinner tables nationwide. Preparation was simple but allowed for personal touches. Many cooks added chopped onions, green peppers, or Worcestershire sauce for extra flavor. A glaze of ketchup or a ketchup and brown sugar mix spread across the top gave the loaf a sweet tang and caramelized to a shiny, appetizing finish in the oven. As it baked, the house filled with a rich, savory aroma that defined home-cooked comfort. Classic sides like mashed potatoes, gravy, and steamed vegetables completed the meal, while leftovers often became sandwiches for the next day, highlighting the dish's practicality. Today, 1950s meatloaf remains beloved for its simplicity, versatility, and nostalgic charm, a timeless reminder that good food doesn't need to be complicated to bring families together. Chicken a la King. Chicken a la King was a beloved staple of 1950s American kitchens, a dish that brought elegance and comfort to the family table. At its core, it featured tender chunks of cooked chicken simmered in a creamy, buttery sauce, often enriched with a splash of sherry and lightly seasoned with salt, pepper, and sometimes paprika. Mushrooms and pimientos or bell peppers added both texture and color, making the dish visually appealing and more luxurious than its humble ingredients suggested. The thick, velvety sauce bound everything together, creating a comforting flavor that delighted both children and adults. Versatility was one of its greatest strengths. Chicken a la King could be served over buttered toast, fluffy rice, or inside flaky pastry shells, making it suitable for weeknight dinners as well as slightly more formal occasions. Many home cooks used leftover chicken from a Sunday roast, transforming it into a new, exciting meal that stretched resources without sacrificing taste. The creamy sauce was forgiving, allowing adjustments to seasonings or the addition of vegetables based on what was on hand, reflecting the practical yet thoughtful approach to cooking in the 1950s. More than just flavor, the dish symbolized the era's approach to meals. Simple ingredients elevated with care. Families enjoyed the comforting aroma of sauce, mingling with tender chicken and colorful vegetables, creating a sense of occasion at every meal. Today, Chicken a la King remains a nostalgic reminder that meals could be both practical and sophisticated. Its creamy richness, tender chicken, and adaptable nature continue to capture the essence of 1950s dining, proving that simple, thoughtful cooking can create dishes that endure in both taste and memory. Tuna noodle casserole. Tuna noodle casserole was a quintessential 1950s comfort food, reflecting the era's focus on practicality, frugality, and family-friendly meals. This unassuming dish transformed simple pantry staples into a hearty, satisfying dinner that could feed an entire household with minimal effort. At its core, it combined tender egg noodles, canned tuna, and a creamy, savory sauce, often made from condensed soup like cream of mushroom, creating a dish that was both affordable and widely accessible to home cooks across America. One of its defining features was adaptability. Many cooks added frozen peas, chopped onions, or diced celery to enhance flavor and texture, while the casserole was often topped with breadcrumbs or crushed potato chips, which baked to a golden, crispy finish. These small touches elevated a simple noodle and tuna mixture into a comforting, substantial meal that was both hearty and satisfying. Beyond taste, tuna noodle casserole symbolized the 1950s approach to home cooking: efficient, resourceful, and practical. Leftovers could be incorporated, and the dish could be prepared ahead of time, then baked when the family was ready. Its warmth and creamy richness created a sense of familiarity and nostalgia, evoking memories of kitchens filled with comforting aromas. Even today, this humble casserole remains a classic, proving that simple, thoughtful meals can be timeless, satisfying, and deeply memorable. Salisbury steak. Salisbury steak was a beloved fixture on 1950s dinner tables, representing the era's love for hearty, comforting, and practical meals. Named after Dr. James H. Salisbury, who promoted a protein-rich diet in the late 19th century, it evolved into a family-friendly staple by mid-century America. The dish consisted of seasoned ground beef shaped into oval patties, browned to perfection, and simmered in a rich, savory gravy made from pan drippings, onions, and sometimes mushrooms. The result was a tender, flavorful main course that paired perfectly with mashed potatoes, buttered vegetables, or egg noodles. Its appeal lay in both taste and versatility. Home cooks appreciated that it could be prepared quickly with basic ingredients while still providing the satisfaction of a well-rounded meal. The gravy added moisture and depth, often enhanced with sautéed onions or a dash of Worcestershire sauce for subtle complexity. Salisbury steak reflected the 1950s focus on practicality. Ground beef was affordable and readily available, and leftovers could be repurposed for sandwiches or casseroles. Convenience foods like canned gravies and seasoning mixes made it even easier to prepare a home-style dinner with minimal effort. Today, Salisbury steak remains a nostalgic favorite, evoking the warmth of home-cooked meals and the comforting flavors of mid-century America. Its simplicity, heartiness, and enduring appeal make it a timeless classic. Beef stroganoff. Beef stroganoff was a centerpiece of 1950s American home cooking, bringing a touch of European elegance to the everyday dinner table. Inspired by Russian cuisine, it became a beloved dish in the United States for its creamy sauce and tender strips of beef, often sautéed with onions and mushrooms. The rich, velvety sauce, made from sour cream or a blend of cream and beef broth, coated every bite, transforming simple ingredients into a comforting and indulgent meal. In 1950s kitchens, beef stroganoff was practical and efficient. Thin slices of inexpensive beef were cooked just until tender, while the creamy sauce added richness and moisture. Egg noodles were the traditional accompaniment, soaking up the flavorful sauce, though some families served it over rice or toast. Mushrooms and onions added depth, and subtle seasonings like paprika or mustard enhanced the flavor without complicating preparation. The dish exemplified mid-century home cooking, practical, hearty, and designed to feed a family efficiently. It could stretch to serve a crowd and even improve as leftovers, while its creamy, golden appearance made a weekday dinner feel special. Today, beef stroganoff remains a nostalgic favorite, reminding us of 1950s kitchens filled with comforting aromas. Its simple yet sophisticated flavors continue to delight, proving that classics like this never lose their appeal. Deviled eggs. Deviled eggs were a quintessential 1950s appetizer, a staple on family tables, holiday gatherings, and potlucks across America. Simple yet elegant, they turned humble, hard-boiled eggs into a creamy, flavorful bite that felt festive and indulgent. The concept was straightforward: hard-boiled eggs sliced in half, yolks removed and mashed with mayonnaise, mustard, a touch of vinegar, and seasoning, then piped or spooned back into the egg whites. Often, a sprinkle of paprika on top added color and a subtle smoky flavor, giving each egg a polished, appealing look. In the 1950s, deviled eggs were admired for both their practicality and versatility. They could be prepared ahead of time, making them convenient for busy households, and they allowed home cooks to stretch ingredients creatively. Some added chopped pickles, onions, or even a dash of hot sauce to the yolk mixture, giving the classic recipe a personal touch. The eggs were served chilled, often arranged neatly on a platter, creating an inviting display that symbolized the era's focus on presentation as well as flavor. Deviled eggs embodied the mid-century balance between simplicity and sophistication. They were economical, using ingredients that were widely available and affordable, yet they carried an air of refinement that made them suitable for entertaining guests. They were often the first dish to disappear at gatherings, appreciated by both children and adults for their creamy texture, tangy flavor, and bite-sized convenience. Beyond taste, deviled eggs reflected the 1950s approach to home cooking: resourceful, stylish, and centered on family and community. They represented the joy of transforming simple ingredients into something memorable, and their appeal was as much visual as it was culinary. The neat rows of yellow and white, garnished with paprika or parsley, conveyed care and attention, signaling that even small touches could elevate everyday cooking. Today, deviled eggs remain a nostalgic favorite, evoking memories of mid-century kitchens, holiday tables, and casual gatherings. Their creamy, tangy filling and charming presentation continue to delight, proving that a simple egg, when treated with care and imagination, can become a timeless classic that endures across generations. Pot roast with vegetables. Pot roast with vegetables was a cornerstone of 1950s family dinners, embodying comfort, simplicity, and the wholesome flavors of home-cooked meals. This dish was the perfect example of mid-century American cooking, where practicality met heartiness. A cut of beef, often a chuck roast or brisket, was slowly braised until tender, allowing its rich flavors to meld with the vegetables and create a savory, satisfying meal. Carrots, potatoes, onions, and sometimes celery were cooked alongside the meat, soaking up the juices and contributing their own natural sweetness to the dish. The beauty of pot roast lay in its simplicity and the way it stretched ingredients to feed a family. The meat was seasoned with salt, pepper, and perhaps a touch of herbs, then seared to lock in flavor before being braised in a combination of beef broth, water, and occasionally a splash of tomato or wine. The slow cooking process ensured the beef became fork tender, while the vegetables absorbed the aromatic broth, resulting in a harmonious, comforting dish that required little effort but offered maximum satisfaction. Pot roast with vegetables also reflected the 1950s emphasis on practicality in the kitchen. It was a one-dish meal, easy to prepare in advance and forgiving in execution. Busy housewives appreciated that it could simmer quietly in the oven or on the stovetop while they attended to other tasks, and leftovers often made for hearty sandwiches or soups the following day. The dish was economical, relying on inexpensive cuts of meat that transformed into something rich and flavorful through time and care. Beyond its practicality, pot roast carried a sense of tradition and warmth. It represented the gathering of family around the dinner table, the aroma of slow-cooked meat and vegetables filling the home, and the satisfaction of a nourishing meal shared together. The golden carrots, tender potatoes, and deeply flavored beef created a plate that was as visually appealing as it was comforting. Even today, pot roast with vegetables remains a nostalgic classic, reminding us that some of the most enduring meals are those that combine simplicity, care, and flavor. Its timeless appeal lies in the way it transforms humble ingredients into a deeply satisfying, homey experience, capturing the essence of 1950s American cooking. Hamburger Helper, early versions. Before the iconic boxed hamburger helper became a household name, the 1950s saw the rise of early homemade versions that embodied the era's focus on convenience, economy, and family-friendly meals. These early renditions were born from necessity, designed to stretch a small amount of ground beef into a filling dinner that could feed an entire family. Typically, the dish combines ground beef sautéed with onions, mixed with a starch such as macaroni or noodles, and coated in a simple creamy sauce made from milk, butter, and a touch of flour or cheese. The appeal of these early hamburger helper-style dishes was their practicality. Ground beef, which was affordable and widely available, became the centerpiece of a meal that required minimal ingredients and effort. Housewives in the 1950s often added frozen vegetables or leftover bits from the fridge to bulk up the dish, making it both economical and versatile. The creamy sauce tied everything together, adding flavor and moisture to what might otherwise have been a simple noodle and beef combination, while the noodles themselves absorbed the savory juices, creating a comforting, cohesive meal. These early versions were more than just convenient. They reflected the ingenuity of mid-century home cooks. They allowed families to make the most of limited ingredients while still serving a dish that felt satisfying and complete. Served in a single pan, this simple meal minimized cleanup and maximized time spent with family, an important consideration in households where mothers balanced multiple tasks. The dish could easily be customized with seasonings such as paprika, Worcestershire sauce, or mustard to suit individual tastes, giving each family a personal touch on a reliable classic. Hamburger Helper, in its early homemade form, symbolized a larger trend in 1950s American kitchens, the blending of efficiency, flavor, and practicality. It was approachable for novice cooks, yet hearty enough to satisfy growing children and busy adults alike. The dish quickly became a staple, remembered fondly for its creamy texture, rich flavor, and convenience, paving the way for the commercial versions that would later become a cultural icon. Today, these early hamburger helper-style meals are a nostalgic reminder of 1950s ingenuity in the kitchen, illustrating how simple ingredients, a little creativity, and a focus on family could produce a meal that was comforting, practical, and enduring. Jell-O mold salad. Jell-O mold salad was one of the most iconic dishes of 1950s American cuisine, a vibrant and whimsical testament to mid-century creativity in the kitchen. This dish turned a simple gelatin base into a centerpiece for family gatherings, holiday dinners, and potlucks, combining sweet, tangy, and sometimes savory flavors in a visually striking presentation. Typically, flavored gelatin was mixed with ingredients like canned fruit, marshmallows, chopped nuts, or even cottage cheese, then poured into a mold and refrigerated until firm. The result was a colorful, wobbly creation that delighted the eyes as much as the palate. The appeal of Jell-O mold salad extended beyond its playful appearance. It was remarkably practical, easy to prepare, and could be made ahead of time, allowing hosts to focus on other parts of a meal. Its versatility made it a perfect canvas for creativity. Some families added grated carrots for texture, cubed pineapple for sweetness, or diced celery for a surprising crunch. Whipped cream or a creamy dressing could be folded in to soften the gelatin's firmness, creating a dessert or side dish that was as indulgent as it was fun. In the 1950s, presentation was almost as important as flavor, and Jell-O mold salad delivered on both fronts. The molded shapes, hearts, rings, domes, or intricate designs transformed the humble ingredients into something visually spectacular. The dish became a symbol of the era's fascination with novelty in cooking, reflecting a time when mid-century homemakers embraced both experimentation and efficiency in the kitchen. It was a dish that brought families together, inspiring conversation and admiration as it wobbled and shimmered on the dining table. Nostalgically, Jell-O mold salad evokes memories of brightly colored mid-century kitchens, carefully prepared meals, and gatherings where presentation mattered as much as taste. Despite its seemingly playful nature, it required skill to achieve the perfect set and balance of ingredients, making it a point of pride for the cook. Even today, Jell-O mold salad endures as a symbol of 1950s ingenuity and charm. Its sweet, tangy flavors, whimsical textures, and visually striking forms continue to capture the imagination, proving that simple gelatin, when treated with care and creativity, could become an unforgettable culinary centerpiece. Glazed ham. Glazed ham was the centerpiece of many mid-century American meals, embodying the 1950s ideal of simplicity and comfort in cooking. In an era when home-cooked dinners were both a social expectation and a labor of love, the glazed ham offered a dish that was elegant in presentation, yet surprisingly easy to prepare. The ham, often purchased pre-cooked from the local butcher or grocery store, required only a careful glaze and a precise baking time to achieve that perfect balance of savory and sweet. Households across the country embraced this dish not just for its flavor, but for the way it brought family and friends together around the table. The glaze itself was a reflection of the 1950s palate, which favored straightforward, bold flavors. Brown sugar, honey, or molasses were commonly used, sometimes enhanced with a touch of mustard, cloves, or pineapple juice. The combination of caramelized sweetness on the outside with the salty, tender meat inside created a harmony of taste that felt both comforting and indulgent. This straightforward approach to seasoning showcased the 1950s belief that good food didn't need to be complicated. The visual appeal of a shiny, golden brown ham studded with cloves or adorned with pineapple rings also made it a natural choice for holiday dinners and special occasions, reinforcing the era's love for presentation and hospitality. Accompanying sides were equally simple, reflecting the era's emphasis on practicality and balance. Mashed potatoes, buttered green beans, and creamy casseroles often rounded out the meal, creating a table that was satisfying and complete without feeling overworked. Recipes were designed to feed large families, and the leftovers frequently became the foundation for sandwiches or soups the following day, highlighting the era's practical approach to cooking. The enduring charm of glazed ham lies in its ability to evoke nostalgia while remaining timeless in its flavor. It stands as a reminder that meals do not need elaborate ingredients or complex techniques to be memorable. In the 1950s, the joy of food was in its simplicity, its ability to bring people together, and its comforting familiarity. Glazed ham perfectly encapsulates this philosophy, proving that sometimes simple food really was better. Baked macaroni and cheese. Baked macaroni and cheese was a staple of 1950s American kitchens, embodying the era's love for hearty, comforting meals that were easy to prepare and satisfying for the whole family. This dish combined simple pantry ingredients, elbow macaroni, milk, butter, and cheese, into a creamy, cheesy casserole that could feed a crowd without requiring hours in the kitchen. Its appeal lay not only in the rich, indulgent flavors, but also in the warmth and familiarity it brought to the dinner table, making it a favorite for weeknight meals, potlucks, and holiday gatherings alike. In the 1950s, convenience was increasingly valued, and baked macaroni and cheese fit perfectly into that mindset. Processed cheeses, such as Velveeta or mild cheddar, were often used to achieve a smooth, velvety texture, while a simple breadcrumb topping added a golden, crispy finish that contrasted delightfully with the creamy interior. Some families enhance the dish with a touch of mustard or paprika for flavor, but overall, the recipe emphasized straightforward, reliable ingredients that were accessible to most households. Its preparation was uncomplicated. Cook the pasta, mix it with the cheese sauce, pour it into a baking dish, and let the oven work its magic. The baked version of macaroni and cheese stood out from stovetop versions because it offered a comforting texture and visual appeal. The bubbling, lightly browned top layer created an inviting presentation, signaling warmth, abundance, and a meal worth sharing. It was a dish that encouraged family members to gather around the table, sharing conversation as much as food, reflecting the 1950s emphasis on togetherness and domestic comfort. Beyond its role as a family favorite, baked macaroni and cheese represented the mid-century philosophy that simple food could be both satisfying and memorable. It proved that a few basic ingredients, combined with care and attention, could produce a dish that felt both indulgent and homey. Even decades later, baked macaroni and cheese continues to evoke nostalgia for the 1950s, a time when uncomplicated meals brought people together and celebrated the simple pleasures of home cooking. Chicken pot pie. Chicken pot pie was a defining comfort food of the 1950s, embodying the era's love for hearty, home-cooked meals that were both nourishing and convenient. This savory pie combined tender chunks of chicken with a creamy, flavorful sauce and an assortment of vegetables, all encased in a flaky, golden crust. It was a dish that could transform simple ingredients into a satisfying meal, offering warmth and familiarity to families gathering around the dinner table. In post-war America, where practicality and efficiency in cooking were valued, chicken pot pie became a favorite because it could make a modest amount of meat stretch to feed a full household. The filling was typically made from a mix of cooked chicken, carrots, peas, and sometimes potatoes, bound together with a simple roux-based sauce made from butter, flour, and milk or broth. The combination of tender meat and vegetables in a rich, creamy sauce made each bite comforting and filling. While the crust could be made from scratch, many 1950s households embraced convenience by using pre-made pie crusts or biscuits, reflecting the decades' growing reliance on processed foods without sacrificing flavor. The process was straightforward. Prepare the filling, pour it into the crust, cover with another layer, and bake until the top turned a warm, golden brown. Chicken pot pie also exemplified the 1950s approach to meals as complete and balanced. The protein, vegetables, and carbohydrate-rich crust provided a full plate in one dish, minimizing the need for additional sides. It was often served with a simple salad or fruit on the side, allowing the pie itself to shine as the centerpiece. Beyond its practicality, the dish offered a sense of care and hospitality, signaling to family members that a homemade, wholesome meal was waiting for them. The enduring appeal of chicken pot pie lies in its simplicity and heartiness. It demonstrates how mid-century cooks turned modest ingredients into something memorable and satisfying. Even today, the dish evokes nostalgia for an era when comfort food was uncomplicated, generous, and meant to bring people together. Chicken pot pie perfectly captures the 1950s philosophy that simple food prepared with care was often the best food. Shrimp cocktail. Shrimp cocktail was a glamorous yet simple appetizer that became a hallmark of 1950s American dining, bridging the gap between elegance and accessibility. In a decade defined by mid-century modern entertainment and the rise of cocktail parties, shrimp cocktails offered hosts a way to impress guests with minimal effort. The dish consisted of chilled, cooked shrimp arranged around a small glass or platter and served with a tangy tomato-based sauce, often known as cocktail sauce. Its appeal lay in the contrast of flavors, the natural sweetness of the shrimp against the zesty, slightly spicy sauce, and the visual presentation, which made even a modest meal feel festive. In the 1950s, shrimp cocktails were considered both sophisticated and approachable. The shrimp were typically poached or boiled until just tender, then chilled and peeled, making them convenient for serving in advance. The cocktail sauce, made from ketchup, horseradish, lemon juice, and sometimes a dash of Worcestershire sauce or hot sauce, added a punch of flavor that complemented the seafood perfectly. Its preparation was simple, reflecting the decade's ethos that entertaining at home didn't require complicated techniques. Yet, it allowed the host to present a dish that felt upscale and refined. Shrimp cocktails also reflected broader trends of the 1950s, including the fascination with convenience foods and the emerging culture of entertaining. Pre-cooked shrimp became increasingly available in grocery stores, enabling homemakers to serve an elegant appetizer without spending hours in the kitchen. The dish often appeared at formal dinners, holiday gatherings, and cocktail parties, symbolizing sophistication while remaining approachable for everyday hosts who wanted to impress without overcomplicating the menu. What makes shrimp cocktail memorable is its enduring simplicity. It doesn't rely on elaborate cooking techniques or complex ingredients, yet it delivers a sense of luxury and celebration. The dish encapsulates the 1950s philosophy that good food could be elegant, flavorful, and uncomplicated. Shrimp cocktail remains a timeless reminder that sometimes the simplest dishes can be the most impressive, and that the pleasure of food often comes from its balance of taste, presentation, and the joy of sharing it with others. Fried chicken with biscuits. Fried chicken with biscuits was a quintessential meal of the 1950s, capturing the era's love for hearty, comforting dishes that were both satisfying and approachable. Fried chicken, with its golden, crispy exterior and juicy, flavorful interior, became a symbol of home-cooked goodness, while warm, flaky biscuits served as the perfect accompaniment. Together, they formed a meal that was simple to prepare yet deeply satisfying, reflecting the mid-century American ideal that food should nourish both body and soul. The preparation of fried chicken in the 1950s was straightforward but meticulous. Chicken pieces were often seasoned with a blend of salt, pepper, and paprika, then dredged in flour or a flour cornmeal mixture before being fried in hot oil. The result was a crunchy, golden crust that locked in moisture, creating meat that was tender, flavorful, and irresistibly juicy. Biscuits, on the other hand, were made from a simple dough of flour, baking powder, butter, and milk, producing layers of soft, buttery goodness that could be split and slathered with butter, honey, or jam. The combination of the savory chicken and the slightly sweet, tender biscuits created a balance of textures and flavors that became a staple of family meals and Sunday dinners alike. This dish also spoke to the social and cultural fabric of the 1950s. Fried chicken with biscuits was often served at family gatherings, potlucks, and picnics, embodying the era's emphasis on togetherness and hospitality. The meal was accessible for many households, requiring only basic ingredients, yet it delivered a sense of abundance and celebration. It was both practical and indulgent, demonstrating that simple foods could be memorable when prepared with care and attention. Fried chicken with biscuits has endured as a classic because it combines comfort, flavor, and simplicity in a way few other dishes can. It embodies the 1950s philosophy that food should be approachable yet satisfying, and that meals were an opportunity to bring people together. Even decades later, this pairing evokes nostalgia for a time when home-cooked, uncomplicated meals were celebrated and cherished, proving that sometimes simple food truly was better. Waldorf salad. Waldorf salad was a stylish yet approachable dish that found its place on 1950s American tables, embodying both elegance and simplicity. Originally created at New York's Waldorf Astoria Hotel, it became a popular home recipe for those looking to serve something fresh, colorful, and slightly upscale. The salad combined crisp apples, crunchy celery, and toasted walnuts, all bound together with a creamy mayonnaise or yogurt dressing. Sometimes grapes or raisins were added for sweetness, creating a refreshing contrast of flavors and textures that delighted both children and adults. In the 1950s, Waldorf salad was often served as a side dish for holiday meals, luncheons, or dinner parties. But it was also light enough to be enjoyed as a starter or casual snack. Its preparation was simple, requiring only chopping and mixing, yet the result was visually appealing and flavorful, making even ordinary ingredients feel special. The crisp textures and creamy dressing reflected the era's desire for dishes that were both practical and elegant, easy to make yet impressive to serve. The salad's enduring charm lies in its combination of freshness, crunch, and subtle sweetness. Even today, Waldorf salad evokes nostalgia for mid-century American kitchens, reminding us that meals didn't need to be complicated to be memorable. Its timeless flavor and classic appeal continue to make it a favorite, proving that simple, well-balanced ingredients can create lasting culinary satisfaction. Creamed chipped beef on toast, SOS. Creamed chipped beef on toast, commonly known by its nickname SOS, was a defining comfort food of the 1950s, embodying the era's approach to practical, hearty, and inexpensive meals. Often served in diners, military mess halls, and family kitchens alike, this dish consisted of thinly sliced dried beef simmered in a creamy white sauce and served over buttered toast. Its appeal lay not only in its rich, savory flavor, but also in its simplicity and convenience, making it a reliable choice for busy households during a decade when efficiency in cooking was highly valued. The preparation of SOS was straightforward yet satisfying. Dried beef, which had a salty, intense flavor, was chopped and simmered in a roux-based cream sauce made from butter, flour, and milk. This produced a thick, velvety sauce that clung to the beef, creating a comforting and indulgent consistency. Buttered toast served as a sturdy foundation, soaking up the creamy sauce while adding its own light crispness. The dish's flavors were straightforward, the saltiness of the beef balanced by the richness of the cream, resulting in a meal that was filling and deeply satisfying without relying on elaborate seasonings or exotic ingredients. SOS reflected the cultural and culinary context of the 1950s, when home cooks sought meals that could stretch modest ingredients into something substantial. The dish was inexpensive, easy to prepare, and could feed multiple family members with minimal effort, aligning with the post-war emphasis on frugality and practicality. It was also a staple in school cafeterias and military dining, further cementing its place in mid-century American food culture. Despite its utilitarian origins, creamed chipped beef on toast became comfort food, evoking a sense of nostalgia for simple, homey meals that offered warmth and familiarity. The enduring charm of SOS lies in its simplicity and hearty flavor. It demonstrates that even humble ingredients, when combined thoughtfully, can create a dish that is satisfying and memorable. Creamed chipped beef on toast remains a reminder of the 1950s philosophy that food need not be complicated to be good, proving that sometimes the simplest meals are the ones people remember the most. Pork chops with applesauce. Pork chops with applesauce was a quintessential 1950s meal, perfectly illustrating the decade's approach to simple, balanced, and flavorful home cooking. This dish paired tender, seasoned pork chops with the natural sweetness of applesauce, creating a harmonious combination of savory and sweet flavors that delighted family tables across America. It was a practical yet satisfying entree, often served with basic sides like mashed potatoes, green beans, or buttered vegetables, embodying the mid-century ideal of meals that were wholesome, approachable, and comforting. The preparation of pork chops with applesauce was straightforward, which contributed to its widespread popularity. Pork chops were typically pan-fried or baked until golden brown, with the simple seasoning of salt, pepper, and sometimes paprika or garlic powder to enhance their natural flavor. Meanwhile, applesauce, either homemade or store-bought, added a sweet and tangy counterpoint, cutting through the richness of the meat. Some families enhanced the sauce with a hint of cinnamon or sugar, but overall, the dish relied on the inherent flavors of its ingredients, highlighting the 1950s philosophy that good food did not require complexity. This dish also reflected the social and cultural values of the time. Pork chops with applesauce was economical and accessible, making it ideal for feeding families on a budget while still providing a satisfying, visually appealing meal. The combination of meat and fruit offered a sense of balance, and the dish's simplicity allowed home cooks to focus on hospitality and family togetherness rather than elaborate preparation. It was a common feature at Sunday dinners, holiday meals, and everyday family dinners, symbolizing both practicality and care in home cooking. The enduring charm of pork chops with applesauce lies in its timeless simplicity and comforting flavor. It evokes a sense of nostalgia for a time when meals were straightforward yet meaningful, bringing people together around the dinner table. This dish exemplifies the 1950s philosophy that simple ingredients, prepared with attention and care, could create meals that were memorable, satisfying, and deeply comforting, proving once again that simple food was often better. Veal Parmesan. Veal Parmesan was one of the most beloved dishes of the 1950s, representing a perfect blend of Italian-American flavor and mid-century home-cooked simplicity. This hearty meal featured tender veal cutlets coated in breadcrumbs, pan-fried until golden, then topped with tomato sauce and melted cheese, usually mozzarella or Parmesan. Baked to perfection, it offered a comforting balance of crispy texture, rich sauce, and creamy cheese that appealed to families seeking both flavor and familiarity. In an era when international cuisine was becoming more accessible to American households, veal parmesan stood out as a dish that felt both exotic and reassuringly homey. The preparation of veal parmesan was straightforward but rewarding. Thin slices of veal were dredged in flour, dipped in beaten egg, and coated with seasoned breadcrumbs before being lightly fried to create a crisp, golden crust. After frying, the cutlets were layered with tomato sauce, often made from canned tomatoes or a simple homemade recipe, and topped generously with cheese. The dish was then baked until the cheese melted into a bubbling, golden layer that enveloped the veal beneath. Served alongside spaghetti or a green salad, it provided a complete, satisfying meal that was elegant enough for company, yet simple enough for a family dinner. Veal parmesan reflected the 1950s fascination with adapting ethnic dishes to fit American tastes and convenience. Ingredients like canned tomato sauce and pre-shredded cheese became staples, allowing home cooks to recreate restaurant-quality meals without difficulty. It represented the decade's growing interest in flavorful, visually appealing food that remained accessible to the average household. The dish's combination of textures and flavors, tender meat, tangy sauce, and melted cheese, made it a crowd favorite that felt indulgent without being complicated. The lasting appeal of veal parmesan lies in its comforting familiarity and timeless flavor. It captures the essence of 1950s cooking: hearty, satisfying, and designed to bring people together. Decades later, it remains a cherished classic that evokes the warmth of family dinners and the simple joy of sharing good food. In every bite, veal parmesan reminds us that simple, well-prepared meals often leave the most lasting impressions. Roast turkey with stuffing. Roast turkey with stuffing was the centerpiece of countless 1950s family gatherings, especially during holidays like Thanksgiving and Christmas. It embodied the spirit of the decade's home cooking: wholesome, hearty, and centered on togetherness. This dish was more than just a meal. It was a symbol of abundance, tradition, and care. The tender, golden brown turkey, filled with savory stuffing, and served alongside familiar sides like mashed potatoes, cranberry sauce, and green beans, captured everything Americans valued in their food: simplicity, comfort, and the joy of sharing. Preparing roast turkey with stuffing was a ritual that brought families together. The turkey, often seasoned simply with salt, pepper, and butter, was roasted slowly to achieve crispy skin and juicy meat. Inside, the stuffing, sometimes called dressing, was a flavorful mix of breadcrumbs, onions, celery, herbs, and broth. Some homemakers added sausage, chestnuts, or apples for a touch of sweetness, but the essence of the dish remained humble and hearty. The aroma of roasting turkey and herbs filled the home for hours, creating anticipation that made the meal even more special. In the 1950s, the meal represented both tradition and modern convenience. With the rise of electric ovens and reliable kitchen timers, roasting a turkey became more manageable for the average home cook. Canned broths, pre-cut bread cubes, and seasoning mixes also became popular, allowing families to enjoy a festive meal without the hours of labor once required. Despite these modern shortcuts, the dish maintained its sense of occasion and warmth, embodying the values of family, gratitude, and togetherness that defined the era. The lasting appeal of roast turkey with stuffing lies in its timeless ability to bring people together. It represents the heart of 1950s cooking, a focus on generosity, tradition, and shared experience, rather than complexity or extravagance. Even today, this classic meal continues to symbolize comfort and celebration, reminding us that simple, well-prepared food has the power to create cherished memories and lasting connections. Meatball casserole. Meatball casserole was a beloved staple of 1950s family dinners, combining the hearty appeal of traditional meatballs with the convenience of a one-dish meal. This comforting casserole reflected the era's emphasis on simple, satisfying cooking that could feed the whole family without requiring hours of preparation. Made from ground beef or a blend of meats mixed with breadcrumbs, eggs, and seasonings, the meatballs were nestled in a bed of tomato sauce or creamy gravy and baked to perfection. Often topped with cheese or served alongside pasta or potatoes, this dish was both filling and flavorful, perfectly suited to the decades' love for wholesome, home-cooked meals. The preparation of meatball casserole was easy enough for busy homemakers while still feeling special enough for Sunday dinner. The meatballs were typically pan-fried or baked until browned, then layered in a casserole dish with sauce, most commonly tomato-based, though cream or mushroom sauces were also popular. Cheese, particularly mozzarella or parmesan, was often sprinkled on top before baking, creating a bubbling golden crust that made the dish both delicious and visually inviting. The result was a rich, comforting meal that required minimal cleanup and could be made ahead of time, aligning with the growing popularity of convenience cooking in the post-war era. Casseroles in general were a hallmark of 1950s cooking, representing efficiency, frugality, and the ability to stretch ingredients. Meatball casserole, in particular, showcased how a few basic items, ground meat, sauce, and starch, could be transformed into something that felt hearty and complete. It was often served at family gatherings, potlucks, and church suppers, symbolizing comfort and community. Each bite offered a balance of textures and flavors, the tender meatballs, the savory sauce, and the melted cheese coming together in perfect harmony. The enduring popularity of meatball casserole lies in its simplicity and adaptability. It remains a dish that evokes nostalgia for a time when food was prepared with care and shared with family. Like many 1950s favorites, it proves that comfort and satisfaction come not from complicated recipes, but from honest ingredients and the warmth of home-cooked flavor. Cobb salad. Cobb salad was one of the most iconic dishes of the 1950s, representing the era's growing appreciation for colorful, fresh, and well-balanced meals. Originating from Hollywood's famed Brown Derby restaurant in the 1930s, this salad quickly became a household favorite by the mid-century thanks to its hearty ingredients and striking presentation. In a decade that prized both convenience and elegance, Cobb salad offered a perfect blend of the two. It was nutritious, easy to assemble, and visually appealing, making it suitable for both casual family meals and stylish luncheons. The classic Cobb salad was a carefully arranged medley of chopped greens, diced chicken or turkey, crisp bacon, hard-boiled eggs, ripe avocado, tomatoes, blue cheese, and a tangy vinaigrette dressing. What set it apart was its presentation. The ingredients were often laid out in neat rows across a platter rather than tossed, creating a colorful, organized display that mirrored the tidy sensibilities of 1950s home entertaining. The combination of textures, the crunch of lettuce and bacon, the creaminess of avocado and cheese, and the tenderness of chicken made every bite satisfying and flavorful. Cobb salad reflected the cultural shift of the 1950s toward lighter, more balanced eating without sacrificing taste. As health consciousness began to emerge, dishes that included fresh vegetables and protein became increasingly popular. Home cooks appreciated that Cobb salad could be prepared ahead of time, served chilled and customized with whatever ingredients were on hand, aligning perfectly with the decade's emphasis on practicality and versatility. It also became a favorite for ladies' luncheons and summer gatherings, showcasing sophistication without requiring complex cooking techniques. The enduring charm of Cobb salad lies in its ability to feel both classic and modern. It captures the 1950s philosophy that simple, well-chosen ingredients can create a meal that is satisfying, wholesome, and visually delightful. Even decades later, Cobb salad remains a staple on restaurant menus and family tables alike, reminding us that fresh, uncomplicated food has a timeless appeal and that the simplest combinations often bring the greatest pleasure. Tuna salad sandwich. The tuna salad sandwich was a true staple of 1950s American kitchens, representing the era's love for quick, affordable, and satisfying meals. In a time when convenience and practicality were key to everyday cooking, this simple sandwich became a lunchtime favorite for families, workers, and school children alike. Made from canned tuna mixed with mayonnaise and a few basic seasonings, it offered a creamy, savory filling that could be easily prepared in minutes. Whether served between slices of soft white bread or scooped onto lettuce leaves, the tuna salad sandwich perfectly captured the mid-century ideal of nourishing, fuss-free food that still felt homemade. The basic preparation was simple but adaptable. Canned tuna, often albacore or light tuna, was flaked and combined with mayonnaise to create a smooth texture. Many homemakers added diced celery, pickles, or onions for crunch and flavor, while a touch of mustard or lemon juice provided brightness. Spread generously on bread and sometimes topped with lettuce or tomato slices, the sandwich was both refreshing and filling. Some versions even incorporated chopped eggs or relish, turning a few pantry staples into a complete, balanced meal. Its simplicity made it one of the most reliable recipes for busy households and a go-to option for picnics, lunch boxes, and casual dinners. In the 1950s, canned goods represented modern innovation, and tuna was especially popular for its affordability and long shelf life. The tuna salad sandwich symbolized the new era of convenience foods that allowed homemakers to prepare nutritious meals without sacrificing time or quality. It was also associated with comfort and reliability, a reminder that good food didn't have to be elaborate to be satisfying. The enduring popularity of the tuna salad sandwich lies in its timeless combination of flavor, texture, and ease. It reflects the 1950s philosophy that simplicity and practicality could still yield delicious results. Even today, it remains a classic comfort food, creamy, flavorful, and endlessly adaptable, reminding us that some of the best meals are those made from the simplest ingredients. Baked salmon with lemon butter. Baked salmon with lemon butter was a shining example of the 1950s approach to elegant yet uncomplicated home cooking. In an era when families valued both nutrition and simplicity, this dish stood out as a wholesome and flavorful option that could easily grace the table for either a weeknight dinner or a special occasion. The mild, flaky salmon paired perfectly with the bright tang of lemon and the rich smoothness of melted butter, creating a meal that felt indulgent without being heavy. It reflected the post-war American fascination with fresh ingredients and clean flavors, all while fitting the decade's emphasis on convenience and balance. The preparation of baked salmon with lemon butter was wonderfully simple, which made it popular among homemakers. A salmon fillet or steak was seasoned lightly with salt, pepper, and sometimes a touch of dill or parsley before being placed in the oven. As it baked, a sauce made from melted butter, fresh lemon juice and a hint of garlic or herbs was drizzled over the fish, infusing it with both flavor and moisture. The result was a tender, golden-topped salmon that flaked easily with a fork and carried the refreshing brightness of citrus in every bite. Many home cooks served it with rice, boiled potatoes, or steamed vegetables to create a balanced and nutritious plate. This dish reflected the growing mid-century awareness of health and modern eating. As refrigeration and food storage improved, fresh fish became more accessible to families living inland, and recipes like baked salmon symbolized progress and sophistication. Yet, despite its refined flavor, it remained wonderfully simple to make, requiring just a few ingredients and minimal effort, aligning perfectly with the 1950s desire for practical yet impressive meals. The timeless appeal of baked salmon with lemon butter lies in its freshness and simplicity. It captures the 1950s belief that good food didn't need to be complicated to be delicious. Even today, it remains a classic for its clean, comforting flavors and its ability to turn an ordinary dinner into something special. Spinach and cheese souffle. Spinach and cheese souffle was a sophisticated yet comforting dish that perfectly reflected the culinary spirit of the 1950s. During this decade, American home cooks began to experiment with European-inspired recipes, especially those from France, which were admired for their elegance and refinement. The souffle, with its light, airy texture and delicate balance of flavors, became a symbol of modern domestic skill. Spinach and cheese souffle in particular offered a combination of wholesome ingredients and refined presentation. Simple enough for everyday dining, but impressive enough for entertaining guests. The preparation of this dish required both care and confidence. Fresh or frozen spinach was cooked and drained before being folded into a velvety base made from butter, flour, milk, and egg yolks. Grated cheese, typically Swiss or cheddar, was added for richness, giving the souffle its creamy, savory depth. The magic came when beaten egg whites were gently incorporated, giving the mixture its signature lightness. As it baked, the souffle puffed up dramatically, forming a golden, delicate crust that concealed a soft, flavorful interior. Served straight from the oven, it was both visually stunning and deeply satisfying, offering a perfect blend of texture and taste. Spinach and cheese souffle captured the 1950s fascination with elevating home cooking while maintaining simplicity and practicality. It aligned with the era's growing interest in international cuisine, introduced through cookbooks, television programs, and the rise of entertaining at home. For many homemakers, mastering a souffle symbolized both creativity and culinary confidence, proof that elegant dishes could be made with everyday ingredients. Despite its refined appearance, it was nourishing and comforting, combining the earthy flavor of spinach with the creamy, slightly tangy richness of melted cheese. The enduring charm of spinach and cheese souffle lies in its balance of sophistication and simplicity. It embodies the 1950s belief that cooking could be both an art and an act of love. Even today, this classic dish continues to impress with its light texture and timeless flavor, reminding us that well-crafted simplicity will always stand the test of time. Corned beef hash. Corned beef hash was a true comfort food of the 1950s, embodying the post-war American ideal of practicality, frugality, and heartiness in everyday cooking. Made from simple, readily available ingredients, corned beef, potatoes, and onions, this dish transformed leftovers into a satisfying, flavorful meal that could be enjoyed for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. It reflected the decade's appreciation for dishes that were filling, easy to prepare, and waste-conscious, making it a staple in many households across the country. The preparation of corned beef hash was as straightforward as it was rewarding. Leftover corned beef, often from a Sunday dinner, was chopped finely and combined with diced, cooked potatoes and onions. The mixture was then fried in a skillet until crisp and golden brown, developing a deliciously savory crust while staying tender inside. Some homemakers added a splash of Worcestershire sauce or a bit of bell pepper for flavor, but the beauty of the dish lay in its simplicity. Topped with a fried or poached egg, it became a complete meal, hearty, comforting, and deeply satisfying. In the 1950s, corned beef hash also reflected the growing influence of convenience foods. Canned corned beef became a pantry staple, allowing families to prepare this dish quickly without needing to start from scratch. Whether made from leftovers or from a can, it was celebrated for its ability to stretch ingredients and feed a crowd, aligning perfectly with the era's values of resourcefulness and efficiency. Served with toast, ketchup, or coffee on the side, corned beef hash was as common in home kitchens as it was in diners, where it became a beloved breakfast classic. The enduring appeal of corned beef hash lies in its warmth, simplicity, and adaptability. It perfectly captures the 1950s philosophy that delicious food doesn't have to be fancy. It just has to be made with care and purpose. Even today, its crispy texture and savory flavor continue to bring comfort and nostalgia, reminding us that the simplest dishes often carry the richest memories. Chicken and rice casserole. Chicken and rice casserole was a quintessential 1950s comfort food, embodying the era's focus on simplicity, heartiness, and practicality in home cooking. This dish combined tender chicken, fluffy rice, and a creamy sauce, often topped with cheese or breadcrumbs, to create a complete and satisfying meal that could feed the entire family. It reflected the mid-century American ethos of meals that were both nourishing and convenient, making it a staple for weeknight dinners, potlucks, and casual family gatherings. The preparation of chicken and rice casserole was straightforward yet rewarding. Cooked chicken, sometimes roasted, sometimes leftover, was shredded or diced and mixed with cooked rice, a creamy sauce made from condensed soup or a roux with milk, and occasionally vegetables such as peas, carrots, or mushrooms. The mixture was poured into a baking dish, topped with a layer of shredded cheese or breadcrumbs, and baked until bubbling and golden. The result was a comforting combination of textures and flavors. The tender, flavorful chicken, the soft, absorbent rice, and the rich, creamy sauce that tied everything together. Its simplicity and adaptability made it ideal for the busy homemaker seeking a wholesome, one-dish meal. Chicken and rice casserole reflected the culinary trends of the 1950s, including the popularity of convenience foods and casseroles in general. Condensed soups, pre-cooked rice, and shredded cheese allowed home cooks to prepare a satisfying meal in minimal time, while still presenting something that felt hearty and homemade. The dish was economical, practical, and versatile, demonstrating how a few basic ingredients could be transformed into a dish that felt indulgent yet wholesome. It was a common choice for family dinners, school luncheons, and community gatherings, showcasing the decades' love for meals that were both easy and satisfying. The enduring appeal of chicken and rice casserole lies in its comforting flavor and straightforward preparation. It exemplifies the 1950s philosophy that good food doesn't need to be elaborate to be memorable. Even today, it remains a favorite for families seeking warmth, convenience, and nostalgia, proving that simple, well-prepared dishes often create the most lasting impressions. Egg salad sandwich. The egg salad sandwich was a beloved staple of 1950s American kitchens, epitomizing the era's preference for simple, quick, and satisfying meals. Popular for lunch boxes, picnics, and casual family meals, This sandwich combined chopped hard-boiled eggs with mayonnaise and seasonings to create a creamy, flavorful filling that could be prepared in minutes. Its appeal lay in its simplicity, versatility, and comforting taste, making it a go-to choice for homemakers who valued convenience without sacrificing the satisfaction of a homemade meal. Preparation of the egg salad sandwich was straightforward, yet it allowed for customization. Hard-boiled eggs were peeled and chopped, then mixed with mayonnaise to achieve a smooth, creamy texture. A touch of mustard, salt, pepper, or paprika often added a subtle tang, while finely chopped celery, onion, or pickles introduced crunch and flavor. Spread generously between slices of soft white or whole wheat bread, sometimes with lettuce or tomato added. The sandwich offered a balanced combination of protein, fat, and carbohydrates in every bite. Its texture and flavor were comforting, familiar, and universally appealing, making it a family favorite across the country. In the 1950s, the egg salad sandwich reflected both practicality and creativity in home cooking. Eggs were inexpensive, widely available, and highly versatile, while mayonnaise had become a pantry staple, allowing for easy assembly of meals with minimal preparation. This dish also exemplified the post-war trend toward lighter, handheld foods that were convenient for lunch or social gatherings, aligning with the era's focus on efficiency and modern living. Despite its simplicity, the egg salad sandwich could be presented neatly for guests or packed for school lunches, demonstrating that even basic ingredients could produce satisfying, versatile results. The enduring charm of the egg salad sandwich lies in its combination of simplicity, flavor, and nostalgia. It embodies the 1950s philosophy that meals did not need to be elaborate to be memorable, proving that fresh ingredients and thoughtful preparation could create comfort and satisfaction. Even today, the egg salad sandwich remains a classic, cherished for its creamy texture, mild flavors, and timeless appeal. A reminder that the simplest foods often leave the strongest impression. Beef and vegetable soup. Beef and vegetable soup was a cornerstone of 1950s home cooking, exemplifying the era's emphasis on hearty, nourishing, and practical meals. In post-war America, families valued dishes that could feed everyone at the table while making efficient use of available ingredients. And this soup fit the bill perfectly, combining tender chunks of beef with an assortment of vegetables such as carrots, potatoes, onions, and celery, all simmered in a flavorful broth. It offered warmth, comfort, and sustenance in every bowl. Its simple preparation and wholesome ingredients made it a favorite for family dinners, lunch gatherings, and even weekend meals that left plenty of leftovers. The preparation of beef and vegetable soup was straightforward, yet the results were deeply satisfying. Beef, often stew meat or leftover roast, was browned to enhance flavor before being simmered slowly in water or broth. Vegetables were added gradually, ensuring each maintained its texture and contributed to the rich depth of the broth. Herbs such as thyme, parsley, or bay leaves provided subtle, aromatic notes, while salt and pepper enhanced the natural flavors of the ingredients. Some variations included barley, rice, or noodles to make the soup even more filling. By the time it was ready, the flavors had melded into a hearty, flavorful dish that was both comforting and nutritious. This soup reflected the practicality and sensibilities of 1950s households. It made efficient use of affordable ingredients, was adaptable to what was on hand, and could be prepared in a single pot with minimal fuss. It also embodied the era's focus on family-centered meals, as large batches could be served at the table and refrigerated for the next day, making it economical and convenient. The dish's simplicity did not compromise flavor. Instead, it showcased how careful cooking and quality ingredients could produce a satisfying and memorable meal. The lasting appeal of beef and vegetable soup lies in its comforting heartiness and timeless flavor. It encapsulates the 1950s philosophy that simple, well-prepared food can nourish both body and spirit. Decades later, it remains a classic dish, evoking nostalgia for warm, home-cooked meals that brought families together and proved that sometimes simple food really was better. Sloppy Joes. Sloppy Joes were a quintessential 1950s comfort food, perfectly capturing the era's love for simple, flavorful, and budget-friendly meals. This casual sandwich featured seasoned ground beef cooked in a tangy tomato-based sauce and served on soft hamburger buns, creating a messy yet irresistible combination that appealed to both children and adults. Popular for lunch, weeknight dinners, and potlucks, Sloppy Joes were celebrated for their ease of preparation, hearty taste, and ability to feed a family without fuss or expense, making them a household favorite throughout the decade. The preparation of Sloppy Joes was straightforward, which contributed to their widespread popularity. Ground beef was browned and drained before being simmered with a mixture of tomato sauce, ketchup, Worcestershire sauce, and seasonings like onion powder, garlic, and a touch of sugar. This produced a rich, slightly sweet, and tangy sauce that coated every bite of meat. The mixture was then piled generously onto hamburger buns, which absorbed some of the sauce while remaining soft enough to hold the filling. The contrast of the savory, saucy meat with the pillowy bread created a satisfying texture and flavor that made each bite comforting and memorable. Sloppy Joes reflected the culinary and social trends of the 1950s, particularly the rise of convenience foods and casual dining at home. The dish was inexpensive, quick to prepare, and adaptable, allowing families to serve a filling meal without spending hours in the kitchen. Its popularity also coincided with the post-war growth of supermarkets and canned goods, which made ingredients like tomato sauce and ketchup more readily available. Beyond practicality, Sloppy Joes became a symbol of informal, fun meals that encouraged family togetherness and relaxed dining. The enduring appeal of Sloppy Joes lies in their simplicity, flavor, and nostalgia. They embody the 1950s philosophy that good food does not need to be elaborate to be satisfying. Even today, Sloppy Joes remain a classic comfort food, evoking memories of cozy kitchens, shared laughter, and the joy of hearty, uncomplicated meals, proving that sometimes simple food truly is better. Ambrosia salad. Ambrosia salad was a quintessential 1950s dessert, embodying the era's love for simple, sweet, and visually appealing dishes. Known for its light, fruity flavor and creamy texture, this salad became a staple at holiday gatherings, potlucks, and family dinners. Its combination of canned or fresh fruits, marshmallows, coconut, and a creamy dressing made it both refreshing and indulgent, offering a sweet contrast to the savory dishes that dominated mid-century American tables. Ambrosia salad perfectly captured the 1950s philosophy that food should be easy to prepare, visually inviting, and capable of delighting both children and adults alike. The preparation of ambrosia salad was remarkably simple, which contributed to its popularity. Common ingredients included canned pineapple, mandarin oranges, and maraschino cherries, combined with miniature marshmallows and shredded coconut. A dressing of whipped cream, sour cream, or mayonnaise bound the ingredients together, creating a creamy, sweet base that balanced the tangy fruit flavors. Some variations added chopped nuts for texture or maraschino cherries for added color, enhancing both the flavor and the visual appeal. Once mixed, the salad was chilled before serving, allowing the flavors to meld and the texture to become perfectly creamy, resulting in a refreshing dish that was ready to serve with minimal effort. Ambrosia salad reflected the 1950s culinary trend of convenience combined with creativity. Canned fruits and pre-shredded coconut allowed homemakers to prepare an elegant, festive dish without spending hours in the kitchen. The salad was often served in clear glass bowls or individual cups to showcase its vibrant colors, making it as visually appealing as it was delicious. Its popularity was fueled by its adaptability. It could be modified based on available ingredients, dietary preferences, or personal taste, while still maintaining the sweet, creamy charm that made it a favorite across the country. The enduring appeal of ambrosia salad lies in its nostalgic simplicity and cheerful flavor. It remains a beloved dish that evokes memories of 1950s family gatherings, festive occasions, and the joy of sharing sweet, homemade food. Ambrosia salad demonstrates that even uncomplicated ingredients, when thoughtfully combined, can create a dish that is memorable, delightful, and timeless. And there you have it. 30 classic 1950s meals that prove simple food was truly better. If you enjoyed this trip down culinary memory lane, don't forget to like and share this video, and subscribe for more tasty content. Your support keeps the nostalgia and the delicious ideas coming.